Thank you so very much everyone for coming. This is Liam Kuka, and in today's video we'll be discussing about the top things that I learned at the age of 20. So now that I'm turning 21, I'll try to look at with you, I'll try to discuss with you the top things, the top lessons that I learned at the age of 20. This was me in 2016, this was me in 2005, and now this is me in 2022. So without any further ado, let's dive into it straightforward just. This point is self-investment. This point can never be overemphasized. The best thing that one can ever give to oneself, the best thing that parents can ever give to their children is of course investing in their children. And of course not just parents investing in their children, but this principle applies to each and everyone. And this is just something which I learned at the age of 20, coming up with new ideas of how to develop yourself. At the age of 20, I was kind of naive. I was lacking a lot of experience, and of course in this broad kind of world we live in, you have to know a lot of things in order for you to survive. So I started to do new things such as web development. I also started to do new things such as reading news, following news closely so as to know what is going on in the world. And the other thing that I did was I started writing a book, and of course which is titled My Life as a Student in Morocco. So of course there are many things of course that I'll have to do in future, but at the age of 20 those are just some kind of things that I did so as to improve myself, so as to develop my attributes, so as to develop my capabilities, so as to develop my potential. Point number 2, which is programming oneself. Programming oneself. This point again, it's important. Like the Browns once said, if you don't program yourself, life will program you. So it's just so vital, it's so important to come up with future plans. It's important to come up with objectives of what one wants to fulfill in future, of what one wants to achieve in future. Because if you don't, you end up settling for whatever comes your way, and you will be more like a scavenger who just settles for whatever comes his way, or for whatever presents before him. So it's just so important to come up with future plans, to come up with future objectives. At a particular time, it wasn't important for me to know programming language so as to come up with my future plans, so as to come up with my objectives. So the only thing which matters, or the only thing which is important, is just coming up with a clear-cut future plans, coming up with a realistic kind of future plans of things that I want to, or that I wanted to achieve, of things that I want even now to achieve in future. So you don't need to know programming language for you to come up with objectives of what you want to see in future. You don't need to know programming language for you to come up with future plans. So just need to program yourself. Otherwise, if you don't program yourself, life will. Point number 3 is people will always talk about you. People will always talk behind your back. So at the age of 20, I knew well that if at all I was hoping to live at peace, I was supposed to unconditionally know this point. Many times I found myself being talked about. Like I used to receive many kind of negative vibes from people. People are talking about me many times, and of course there'll be always people talking about you for as long as you are breathing, for as long as you are under this earth. People always be talking about you. And then the other point is of course people who always want you to live the life that they want to see you live. And now you can just imagine if 20 different people, they want you to live 20 different kind of lives. You can just imagine what kind of life you can be living. So for as long as you are living within the boundaries of what is considered to be right, for as long as you are living an ethical life, then you are good, you are all good. But the other thing that I learned is people always talk about you. They always find something wrong in you. There will be always negative kind of vibes coming from people, and they will always talk behind your back. point number 4 is I am my biggest competitor. During my 20s, I remember very well, like I used to find myself into different kind of competitions, but later in life I came to realize that competition is just only good for businesses, like those guys who are competing in terms of digital marketing their products. Like competition works well in that kind of niche. But when it comes to life, like it's some kind of different. And of course, I ask myself these 2 major questions whenever I feel like going into competition. And the first question being, whose life am I living? And if it's my life I'm living. And the second question is, who's controlling the pace at which I'm moving at? Of course, I'm the one who is responsible of changing the speed at which I'm moving at. So if at all I was going to go into competition with someone, life-wise, I may end up crashing. We've got all destinations in life, either a perfect kind of destination or a bad one. But whatever we are doing, I just need to aim for a perfect kind of destination. We've got people who are moving at a slow kind of pace, and we've got people who are rushing up things. And then sometimes it doesn't go their way. Sometimes they don't put things in order, and they end up crashing. So just all about understanding oneself. Just all about understanding your capabilities of what you can do, and of course, what your wheels can do, what your speed can do. So I feel I learned that just all about we all people move at different kind of speeds, and what matters is just aiming for that perfect destination. So point number 5 is I am already enough, or we are already enough. So according to psychologists, they say that we've got 10% of things happening to us, and of course the 90% is how we react to those things that have happened to us, whether bad things or good things. So it is not just a matter of those bad things happening to us, but it is the matter of how we react to those bad things, how we deal with those bad things, how we handle those bad things. So have you ever heard of that saying which goes like, we are the products of our thoughts? So the same way, just the most important thing, or the thing that matters the most, is feeding our brain with the right information. We shouldn't be perceiving ourselves in a negative way. The same way you can make number 7 an even number by just removing the s in front of it, minus using subtraction, addition, or multiplication. So that's you just remove the s in front of 7 and make it an even number. That's the same very way we can make our lives bright, by just removing the negative thoughts and replacing them with the right thoughts, the correct thoughts about ourselves, the positive thoughts, kind of thoughts about ourselves. So that's the way to go. We are already enough. I am already enough, and everyone is already enough. We've got everything within us. So that's the way to go. So point number 6 is we get confidence from what we wear. We get confidence from what we wear. So if you are an engineer, you have to dress like one. If you want to become a dancer, if you want to be a dancer in the future, you have to dress like one. We are identified by what we wear. Like they say, first impression says it all. So if you want to be a manager, you have to dress like one. If you want to become a professor, or if you are already a professor, you have to dress like one. If you want to be a businessman, you have to dress like one. But by all means, you just have to wear what makes you comfortable. Blake Lively once said, the best thing that you can wear is self-confidence. So by all means, you have to dress like you mean it. So that's the thing. Confidence is the key, and whatever you wear, just make sure that you feel comfortable. That's because there's just some kind of certain dress code which people respect in society. So if you want to get respect from the society, of course, you have to check the way you're dressing up. Number 7 is self-development over self-perfection. So I have already talked about self-development of the things that I'm doing now, and of course of the things that I've done, and of course of the things that I'm planning to do in future. So we shouldn't be, this is the right time to make mistakes. We shouldn't be looking for perfection, self-perfection. we are not perfect. We are just I'm just in my 20s, and if you're watching this video, you might be in 20s as well, or maybe even in your 30s, 40s, but that doesn't matter, right? Yeah, so the one thing, we need to be making mistakes. This is the right time to make mistakes. Like, there can never be the right time to make mistakes than now. Yeah, because this is a learning kind of curve. This is a learning process. Like in our 20s, this is when now we are knowing what is right, and of course we are knowing what is wrong. This is when we are knowing what is right and wrong. Yeah, so it's so important to make mistakes now, so that we then something important thing that matters the most is never making the same mistake twice. Yeah, so you make a mistake, you learn from it, and you move forward. Yeah, so we are talking about mistakes. You don't make serious mistakes, because there are some mistakes that are kind of beyond repair. Like, you can never mend them, you can never fix them, and once you make those kind of mistakes, it may be the end of your future, it may be the end of your career. Yeah, so just be on a lookout for those kind of serious mistakes. Make mistakes, and of course not those devastational kind of mistakes. Yeah, but this is the right time to make mistakes. Just take out for those serious mistakes. I don't know how many times I've used mistakes here. Yeah, but that's the way to go. So point number 8 is applying the law of third. Yeah, so the law of third states that you have to do what you want. That's the most important thing. Like, something that you want to do, with what you have and where you are. Yeah, so do what you want with what you have and where you are. It doesn't matter the place of where you are from. Yeah, so it's also about it was like, for me, it was also about myself, creating chances for myself, and of course coming up with a YouTube channel. That is of course one of the ways in which I created my chances. Yeah, so it doesn't matter where you are from, it doesn't matter where you are, and it doesn't matter of what you're having at the moment. It doesn't matter of the quantity, how small the resources you have are. Yeah, so it's just about creating those chances by yourself. A very simple question that I can ask you is what do you do when you don't have something that you are looking for? What do you do? Like, you are trying to search for something, you are trying to look for something, but you can't find it. So what do you do? Of course, you go and look for it, you go and find it. Yeah, so by finding it, by all means, you try to find it by all means. And of course, you can do that, of course, in life by just creating chances for yourself. Point number 9 is life is short. And this point is obvious, isn't it? This point is obvious to everyone, right? Yeah, so many times, like, I wanted to impress people, my friends, be it my family members, and in general, just everyone. Yeah, but after I'd seen how like people are so nice who are just forgotten a few years after their death, it clicked into my mind, and I was like, no, this is not the way to go. Yeah, so there's a difference between being nice and being kind. Yeah, so like, when you are nice, you end up even going against your own will. Yeah, and being kind is the opposite of it. Yeah, so we don't need to be bothered as well by the lavish kind of life that people are portraying on social media. And of course, many times this kind of life they are living is it's kind of fake. Yeah, so just do what you like to do, and life is short. Within 100 years, I'm sure no one who is watching this video might not even be there. Yeah, so don't try to impress people. That's one thing that I didn't. But try to be kind to everyone, because you never know where the chances are going to come from. You never know where the opportunities are going to come from. Yeah, so just try to be nice. Just try to be kind instead of nice. Last point number 10 now is to be social. Like, the more people you know, the more opportunities you're going to get. The more people you know, the more you're going to increase your chances of succeeding. Yeah, it's not just all about knowing people, but it's the question of knowing productive people. Yeah, so like, if you know many productive people, you're going to increase your chances of succeeding. Yeah, if you try to look at most successful people in the world, if you look at Elon Musk, If you look at Bill Gates, if you look at Aliko Dangote, you're going to find that all these people, they've got their associates, they've got strong relationship with other people. It's contributed strongly as well. Yeah, so the key factor is, of course, knowing people who are kind of productive. Otherwise, if you do the opposite, you are going to be experiencing kind of the downward trend of life. These are just 10 important lessons that I learned at the age of 20, and now I'll be turning 21. So I'm just going to try to implement these things. Of course, I have implemented some of them already into place. So just a matter of seeing how the future is going to be like, and of course, just looking forward to my 21st birthday, which is just coming on the 11th of August. Yeah, so yeah, thank you so very much for coming. I appreciate you. Namaste. Namaste. Anshara.